Doing good today. Before we get started, if anybody wants to be able to donate or purchase a question, you can find my Cash App, PayPal, Amazon wish list, and P.O. box all in the description box below. Anything you guys do on that front helps me out so much, and I truly appreciate each and every one of you here to support me on my path as I'm here to support you on yours. So thank you so much for that. Any kind of likes, shares, comments, subscribes, all that stuff helps as well. Or checking out my other channel, D's Storytime, which you can find a link for in the description box as well, where you can find any of the poems mentioned today. And liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing over there really helps me out more than you guys know for any of that stuff. So thank you for that. And let's get started with today's message. I feel like there is a lot of awakenings going on in the collective right now. People are really truly finding their roots, understanding what has been infecting them from the beginning, and really clearing a lot of that out, finding their confidence, their inspiration, passion, joy, how to bring that about, what makes it fall away, and what really brings it back to life. There could definitely be a lot of transformations going on in your love lives right now. New ways of being or thinking, or really coming into a connection with others. A lot of things that have been cloudy or fogged over in the past are starting to really become clear, and you're starting to see things in a very different way than you have in the past. Starting to no longer feel ashamed of yourself for your desires, your wants, your needs, being able to let any of that go and allowing yourself to be who you are, loving yourself truly for who you are authentically, and also as a consequence of that, starting to love the people around you as they authentically are and truly are as a person as well, because we can't love anyone else unless we love ourselves, which means as you come more fully into this self-love energy and you start to stop judging yourself and you start to just be you and be okay with you, you start to feel that way about other people too, instead of judging them for being who they are. Your heart chakra as well is starting to really balance out, and your crown chakra too. It's kind of like a nice alignment going on where everything is becoming clear, and all the things that have been faded or confusing are really starting to show. Glad I used that in a video because I just recently gave it to a friend of mine. So, since I'm at their house right now, I'm using it in my video. Find your peace, center and ground yourself. Don't allow fear and anxiety to steal your win. Don't let the opinions or judgments of others cause you to turn away from what you know to be your truth. And once again, this all has to do with no longer worrying what anybody has to think, say, or feels about who you are, and just being yourself. And at the same time, on the other side of that coin, as you give yourself that space to be you, and you don't allow the fear or anxiety to control you, you don't allow other people's thoughts or opinions to control you, you will stop having so many thoughts and opinions about what anybody else should be doing, and you will start to love and accept them exactly as they are too. Hi guys, nice to see you today. Camping with you was so amazing. The trees, stars, wind, and full moon were so amazing. It's like a spell was cast and time stopped. But I need someone who can be open and vulnerable, someone who can communicate clearly. I think this was just a fling of two lonely people. The song Lonely Chick. Heal and find wholeness within. We are a mirroring, so I need to as well. Don't give up your heart to someone just because you can't stand being alone. It should only be given when you feel good on your own, and you are feeling like you would be fine whether things worked out or not. Codependency is something that we both need to work on. So at this current state in time, I am slowly starting something with somebody, and I'm in that state of being fine on my own and everything's great if it doesn't work out, being able to let go and allow things to just unfold. And that person's having a little bit of overthinking themselves, and they're kind of worried about the situation, not sure of what's going to come of it. And as I asked them last night, if everything ended tomorrow, what would you regret today? Would you regret spending all of your time wasted overthinking everything, instead of just enjoying the moment and the time that we do have, regardless of what can come from it? Today it is $10 a question. So if you want to be able to ask a question, you can send $10 through Cash App or PayPal, and the links are both in the description box below. I will have another free question session like I did yesterday, the first week of the month next month. It was a little bit late this month because my birthday was in the beginning of the month and I had a lot of stuff going on around that time. So I'm sure that if you stick around, there'll probably be something along those lines in this message, though. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't have been drawn to it. So, codependency is something that's very important to work on so that you can be able to just allow things to unfold naturally and not really find yourself in a position of trying to control things in whatever way that may be, whether it be through, thank you for understanding, whether it be through, breadcrumbing or ghosting, or whether it be through holding grudges or saying nasty things or lashing out at others because of hurt and pain caused by simple little mess ups. All of those things are triggered by codependency. When you're in an interdependent connection, both parties are allowed to live their life and they're allowed to do the things that they want to be doing and go the places that they want to be going. And at the end of the day, you can come back together and you can share your stories of the day. Nobody's jealous. Nobody is envious. Nobody is upset that the other person had a life going on, because that person has a life going on too. And you both have your own lives, but you're able to come back together and work on a life together as well. A journey to find your passion within. And there's so much less judgment in it too, because you're not so worried about what the other person is doing because it's who they are. A journey to find the light, leaving darkness, no more fight, shame and guilt for passion's ease, time to cross to less choppy seas. It's always darkest before the dawn, face the darkness to move on. Travel deep to find the pain, know your desires are not insane. Enjoy the journey as you go, as storm clouds gather, go with the flow. Enjoy the journey, enjoy the growth. To yourself, keep your oath. So I haven't actually had this poem come out in a while. It's amazing that it came out today, because that's what we were talking about a little bit ago, is really being able to find that light inside of yourself and inside of others. No longer feeling like you have to fight to defend every ounce of who you are, just being okay in your own skin and allowing things to be as they are, allowing everyone else to be who they are, allowing yourself to be who you are, and no longer trying to control situations or scenarios, doing the things that make you feel happy, the things that make you feel inspired, the things that you want to do, and not feeling any sort of way about yourself for being who you are. So let's see what other messages we are going to get with this message. Owl magic. Choose to know the truth because you can. Open your inner vision. You can see through the deception. Let the past go and make room for a better life. Rise up. Magic and wisdom are your birthright. Black Bear Guardian. Gentle and wise protector, give me your confidence and power. Help me to protect the ones that I love. Awaken my intuition and guide me. So, claircognizance is a very big thing in this collective reading as well. Your inner knowing, your inner wisdom. When you know something and you just can't explain why you know it, but you know it, and then it turns out that, hey, you were right. You did know it. Really understanding things at a very deep level. Inside of yourself, you know what it is that you want to do, where it is that you want to go, what makes you feel the most alive. What's the point of living your life if you aren't living your life, if you're not alive, if you're not feeling like you're doing something? That's where a lot of depression comes from as well, is holding ourselves back, getting stuck in a comfort zone or stagnant, or feeling like we are unable to do the things that we want to do, feeling like everything is constantly going wrong, nothing's right, things like that. And it's when you take that power back into your own hands, you can turn that around and you can create something new. a dynamic that feels more like you, that feels very refreshing and revitalizing. Get out there and try new things, go new places, meet new people, express yourself, and don't worry whether or not you're going to look weird or crazy or awkward. And who the fuck gives a shit? Half those people that you run into out there in the world, you're never going to see again anyway. And I mean, really, if they didn't like who you were, would you want to? Because I wouldn't want to. I'd rather be around people that actually enjoy me as me, which requires me to remove those masks and show me as me, which sometimes can be very scary to do, especially when it comes to people that are important in the lives of other people that are important to us. Because, you know, you want to make a good impression on their friends, or you want to make sure that you're not creating any contention between you and that person because you don't enjoy being around the people they enjoy being around. That's where interdependence comes into play as well, because that person can go hang out with their friends and you can go hang out with your friends, and you don't gotta like the same people. At the end of the day, it's important that we get along, but at the same time, you don't necessarily have to like the same people in order to like each other. Maybe that person connects to those other people on a level they don't connect to you on, and maybe you connect to different people on a level that you don't connect to that person on, but you don't connect to those same people, and that's just fine. King of Wands, the Emperor, Justice. So you're really learning how to take the high road, how to let everything go, and how to wash your hands of situations and let karma take the path, you know, and just letting that go back to the people, allowing yourself to just forgive and release and live the life that you want to live without worrying about what anybody else has going on or why they're doing the things that they're doing. Just letting that go and allowing it to be what it is. Realizing that, yeah, those people are going to face some karma for some of the things they did, but so am I, because you know what? Nobody's perfect, and everybody has karmic cycles to break and lessons to learn and things to go through. Once again, with knowing what you want and going after it, really inspiring others to take that leadership position in their lives as well. There could definitely be some sort of business that you are thinking about getting off the ground, or some sort of leadership position that you may be being offered in the near future, some sort of authority position with a lot of power in it. And remember, when it comes to this, that great power has great responsibility attached to it as well. And anything that you put out will come back. So make sure that you don't take advantage of the position that you're in. Remember to be humble and kind, caring, empathetic, and understanding, while at the same time being hard and unyielding, and really being able to make the hard decisions that other people cannot make, which is why you are in this leadership role to begin with, is because you can make those decisions. And as you do this and as you grow, you are really going to be inspiring a lot of people to take those leaps of faith in their own life, to create something that is better suited to themselves, something that they want to do, and something that they feel passionate about. It's amazing the things we affect in this world. I saw this post the other day where this guy's filling up this bird water bath. And as he's filling it up, he's thinking, oh, I'm so useless. I'm so meaningless. There's nothing in this world that cares for me, no one that cares for me, and I don't make any difference at all. And then a little while later, some birds jump in that bird bath and they're like, oh, thank God for the person who filled this up today. It's amazing the lives you touch without even realizing how many lives you do touch. So in between messages, if anybody wants to be able to donate or purchase a question, you can find my Cash App, PayPal, and Amazon wish list in the description box below. Thank you ahead of time for anybody who donates or purchases a question. Anybody who likes, shares, comments, subscribes, anything like that, you guys are great. Thank you for the support. So, trying to keep you in a state of waiting and not seeing your value and your worth, not expecting to receive, not understanding the impact that you make around you. Funny that came out right after I was talking about not seeing the impact you make on the world around you. They want you to see yourself as worthless and unworthy. No different. Act different. Be different. Start to see the effect that you have from different eyes, those of your maker. Look at your life through heaven's eyes. Prince of Egypt. So basically, in that movie, Moses is questioning why they would be so giving to him, so loving to him. He's done nothing to deserve this. He's been an awful person his entire life, and he's destroyed so many lives. He's hurt so many people. How could you possibly see me as a good person and treat me as a good person? You should be throwing me out into the middle of the desert to starve to death alone. What is wrong with you people? And as the father explains, you saved my daughter. You may have been a bad person in the past, but you saw clearly what you were doing and you sought to change it. You turned your back on it and you decided to become a good person the moment you decided to free her from their clutches. Look at the effect you had. If it wasn't for you right now, she could be dead. She could be being a sex slave in the palace. I mean, there's lots of different things that could be going on right now if it wasn't for the fact that you decided to be a good human being. And you saved my daughter and brought her home to me. And then you saved the children at the well from the guys that were harassing them. You are a good person. What are you talking about? You've done nothing of value. You have done so much of value. Even if you don't see it, you have made such an impact on the world around you. And it's time to start seeing that. It's time to start waking up to that. And it's time to stop listening to those people that may have breadcrumbed you or ghosted you or kept you as a side piece or strung you along or whatever it is that caused you to be in this state of lack and feeling like you didn't have the value or worth for something to receive something better than what they were giving you. The song that's coming to mind is, I think it's called Fuck You by Morgan something. And basically she's talking about how he told her, you'll never be as good as you are when you are with me. So if you know what's best for you, you better not leave. Basically, leave. Leave those situations. Leave those situations with those people that want to sit on their pedestal and judge you, criticize you, make you feel like a pile of shit so that you stick around because they don't want to lose you. And sure, yeah, it's because they don't want to lose you and it's because of their insecurities and BS like that. But here's the thing. It doesn't matter if it's because they're hurting and in pain. What matters is they are making you hurt and putting you in pain that you don't need to be in. And at any time you could take your power back and you could walk away from it, or you could stand up for yourself, stand your ground and tell them exactly what's what and why they're doing what they're doing and see what reaction that causes. Because sometimes that actually does shift and change things. Regardless of what anybody will tell you, sometimes communicating is very effective. Because sometimes people don't even realize what they're doing, and other times they do. And then they will continue it, even if you say that. And guess what? That's when you know that they're doing it intentionally and purposefully. We blame all types of people for creating monsters. Why not ourselves? Olivia Benson. That's from Special Victims Unit. We shouldn't blame anyone but the monster. We all have a choice. Understanding is good, but excusing the actions of someone by blaming others is not okay. You might feel like your actions created a monster, or someone else's actions created a monster that you have dealt with in your life. But they still had a choice, especially if you sat there and communicated to them what they were doing that was so hideous, and they decided to continue doing it anyway. Are you a monster? How many monsters have you dealt with without giving in to your dark sides and becoming a monster yourself? Sometimes we all make mistakes and sometimes we all hurt each other, but there's a difference between hurting each other unintentionally and choosing to hurt people. If you're dealing with people that are choosing to hurt others, especially you, then it's time to pull your energy back, to take your power back and make a different choice in your life, because you're the only one who can make that choice. You are here. If you are here, it's for a reason, a purpose much longer than just a season. Overcoming is a must. In faith you place your trust. Happiness blooms from inside all the pain you can't abide. Strength is yours to harness well. If you believe, you can never fail. You're on your path. Listen now. Ask your heart where and how. All the answers will come to you once you switch to a more peaceful view. 8/5/20. So, there could have even been at one point in time when you were dealing with others and they were making you feel like you lacked worth or value, like you didn't deserve to be here, like you had no purpose, like there wasn't anything that you did that made a difference anywhere in your world. There could have been a time where you were feeling very much like you just wanted to leave this earth. Like this is not your home, this is not where you belong, this is not what you want to be doing. Suicidal type of energy. The song coming to my mind right now is, cut my life into pieces, this is my last resort. Suffocation, no breathing, don't give a fuck if I cut my arm bleeding. Out of sight, out of mind. There could have been a lot of pain, a lot of hurt, a lot of feelings like hopelessness, despair, sadness, loss, grief. Not sure why you can't be happy like everyone else. Not sure why life can't be good like it can be for anyone else. I am doing very good. Thank you, Maple. I hope you're doing good as well. But you have a reason for being here. And it's not just for a season. You have a reason for being here that is going to last a very long time. For some of you, even long after you are gone. Long after your ashes have been spread out throughout the earth, there is still going to be an impact left behind from the mark that you left on this place and the people in it. It's time to take a leap of faith. To understand that happiness blooms from the inside, yes. But your actions dictate whether or not you are creating a life that is inducive to happiness for yourself or not. I'm so happy that it's a wonderful day for you. It has been a pretty damn good day for myself as well. And I have air conditioning today, so yay! I'm so happy about that, especially since I know that my video is not going to get all stupid and skip out in the middle of it. And also, practicing not running with people. That's a good thing to be practicing. Eight of Swords, Four of Swords, and the Five of Wands. A lot of the fights that we have in the world around us, a lot of that is happening inside of us. When you find yourself in chaotic circumstances, constant drama or chaos, constantly overthinking everything, constantly worried about everything, when you find yourself in that state, look inside of you. What's going on inside of you that is causing that? Are you overworking yourself? Are you getting enough rest? Are you constantly worried about everything going on around you and overthinking it all, cycling through it again and again and again and again with your tired mind? Because that means that it's time to take some time away from the world and to just rest, to reflect, to pray, to meditate, time to take care of you, which should be done on a regular basis anyway, but sometimes we get so bogged down with everything going on in the world around us that we forget something that makes us feel very good is loving and nurturing ourselves. If it makes other people feel good when you love and nurture them, then it makes you feel good when you love and nurture you too. So taking that extra time for a nice, long, hot bubble bath with some bath salts in it, that will do fucking wonders for you. You can also pray over the water and ask for that water to cleanse your body, your mind, your soul. You don't have to be a pastor or a preacher to do that. They took all of our power away and gave it to a few people when they did that. Each one of us has the power to talk to our God or gods. I believe in a feminine and masculine version, not just one, because you can't create any of this shit without both. And that's when a lot of our power was taken away, was when they placed it into the power of one man, and then they placed it into the power of a few men on earth that can talk to them. Everybody can talk to them anytime we want to. Anybody can pray over that water. Anybody can pray over our lives or the lives of others. And that faith is what makes it real. That trust is what makes it real. When you believe it, it's real. Saging your space is very good as well. Not only does it cleanse out the negative, lower vibrational energies and entities that may be present in your space, within yourself or within your animals or the people around you, it also cleans out 98.8% of all airborne bacteria. Imagine that. Wow. Not only are you cleansing your space, but you're cleansing your air and purifying it so that what you're breathing in isn't poisoning you. Oh, thank you so much, Dom Dom. I really appreciate that. So there could be a lot of competition going on right now for your time, your attention, your efforts as well, especially since you're taking a lot of time alone to yourself to take care of you. And people are noticing this and they're really appreciating it. They're really finding your vibrations to be at a very high point right now because you are really taking care of yourself, or you soon will be. And you're going to be noticing a lot of people wanting your time, your energy, your efforts, wanting to get in good with you, wanting to be your partner, whatever the case may be. There's a lot of people vying for that right now with me. And you know what? There's part of me that really doesn't like it. I didn't like being the option, but I don't like having people as an option either. I don't like leaving people on maybe. I don't like it. And you shouldn't even be standing here on maybe anyway. You should have enough self-confidence and self-esteem to put your foot down and be like, hey, I'm not a fucking option. I'm fucking amazing. And if you want me, then you want me. And if you don't, you don't. And walk the fuck away from it, because that's where I got to the state I am, where I'm not the option anymore. But I don't want to be the villain, damn it. And that's what it feels like when you're in that position. It somewhat feels like being the victim. And climbing your way out of those thoughts is going to be very important for you. You're not the one choosing for them to stand there and be doing that. They're making that choice themselves. You're just living your life. And if they want to stand there doing that, then they want to stand there doing that. And at the end of the day, they can't blame you if you're not choosing them, because you told them that you really weren't sure what you were going to choose anyway. Because you wanted to make sure that you were choosing the best thing for yourself instead of just jumping into the first thing that came along. And there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But that's also going to change your viewpoint on people who have done that in the past too. And people who have made you feel like shit. It wasn't them that made you feel like shit. It's that you were feeling like shit inside of yourself, which was causing that. Thank you, beautiful. So, random blocks happening with your move in the next couple weeks. I'm going to finish up these 2 cards and then I will definitely touch on that. Swan, Grace. You who glides across the waters of my soul, bring me your wisdom and your light. Help me to transform into elegance and grace. Inspire me with dignity and the spirit of beauty. And the way that you are in that graceful energy, that forgiving energy, showing others grace as you would hope that you are being shown grace for the mistakes you've made in your life. The way that you do that is by releasing that judgment, by no longer overthinking everything that comes your way, by not hating others for doing the same things that you're doing right now, that you're seeing from a different perspective that you weren't seeing before because you've never been in that position before. And now that you're seeing it in a different perspective, it shifts your viewpoint on it. Sea otter happiness. Be the master of playful living. Release your expectations and enjoy every day. Let go and instead choose love. Surrender to the waves. Your good destiny of love is sure. So, how do you become a playful person in your life? How do you get back into that childlike energy again? You want to know the children and adults, or at least children before, there's too much reality in their life. It was probably about 8 or 9, and maybe even 7 when my life turned into that. But the difference would be the children are not worried about anything. They're just living their life. They're living every day to the fullest. They're enjoying every moment that there is. Every chance that they get to play and have fun, they do it. Every time there's music on, they dance, and they don't give a flying fuck who's watching. Live your life like that and see how much everything in it improves. See how much more happiness thrives within you and in the world around you. All because you have chosen not to worry about every step you take along the way. So let's see. Random blocks happening with mood. You're only a villain because you are broken. It's time for full self-acceptance. Look in the mirror. Who do you see? Some of the self-sabotaging behaviors that you're working through are very painful to others. Forgive yourself and forgive others. You went through this to gain more compassion, understanding, empathy, and less judgment for yourself and others. You had to break to truly bloom. I feel like that message was just the very ending of that last part. So, you're starting to understand things from a villain perspective. Now, on to that message about blocks related to moving. I've seen you in my dreams. Does that mean that you have seen me too? Every time we have to go our separate ways and say goodbye, my heart sinks. Know that you take my heart with you when you go, wherever you go. I also know that we will see each other again soon, and I feel like you feel the same, so it helps. This is growing so beautifully, and I hope we can just enjoy the journey with patience and faith. The journey is the best part. 60 years from now, the memories of the journey will be our greatest treasures, even if the rest isn't meant to be. We'll see as we go. We should both want it and work for it, and if either of us stops working for it or wanting it, we should be free to go. We should love each other enough to want either of us to be happy, even if it is not together. Love isn't owning or controlling another. It is freedom. So is there something going on with this move that has to do with moving away from someone that you really feel a lot for and have a lot of love for? White Stag, Protector. You're an old soul. Your best friend is nature. Use your intuition to take you where you want to go. Awaken to the powerful force within you. You are meant to create blessings with your magic. Eagle Mastery. You are on a spiritual journey beyond the sky. Let go of the past and soar. You are guided by the winds of spirit. Your wisdom inspires the world. Exactly. That's exactly what I was feeling. I feel like you need to make this move, regardless of whether or not you're moving away from this person. I feel like you need to make this move. You need to have that freedom, that individuality. Listen to your intuition. It's time to really let go of the past and to soar, to allow yourself to spread your wings and fly with no worries or cares, and knowing and trusting that what's meant to be will be. And maybe this move is a big part of coming into union with somebody that you love. This may actually be something that really triggers a lot of things that needed to be triggered in order for you guys to move through things so that you can come together. Six of Wands, the Queen of Swords, and the Five of Pentacles. You might feel like a lot of your taking your power back, speaking your truth, putting your foot down, and setting boundaries has left you somewhat alone. You're definitely never alone, though. And if you reach out and talk to those people do still care, and they would still be there for you. Sometimes when we are putting our foot down and creating those boundaries, we can feel like we are being very mean. And it's not mean to tell people the truth and to be honest with them. You might be feeling like you lack in some sort of area. And I feel like this move is going to be very good for you because it's going to be making you feel like you don't lack in any area. You have everything that you need inside of yourself to create success in your life. And you could be right now waiting for something else to come in to create that success, but you have it all inside of you. And so I feel like this move is going to be a very victorious and successful thing for you because it's going to help you to climb up out of this state into a state of clarity and truth about who you are as a person and what you have to offer the world. There's going to be a lot of recognition coming your way, a lot of success coming your way. There's going to definitely be a lot of changes right now. And it's all in what you can learn from what you're going through. Facing everything you're going through with courage is going to be something that's very important too. Mice can be very afraid of things at times. Although what's really funny is mice scare the shit out of elephants. They terrify elephants. Especially when they stand their ground. Mice can be very afraid and very anxious, but when it comes to certain things, they will stand their ground. Even against humans, they will stand their ground. Like say if they have babies behind them and there's a cat there, or there's a snake there. If you put a family of mice into a snake pit, you will see the parent mouse will not go down without a fight because they're fighting within everything in them to protect their babies. I can understand that. And I will say this much, I do not do anything with anybody that's in a relationship, period. That's one of my rules. And if you break that, you're fucked. Because if you lied to me about being in a relationship, you definitely will never get to see me in your life again. But if you look at it from a different perspective, and yes, people should be honest. They should be letting their spouse know that, hey, I'm just not feeling this anymore. I'm not happy here anymore. There's something missing here. I really think that we should both go our separate ways. That's the way it should be. But there's a lot of people who cannot say those things and who try to cause it to end in different ways by getting caught cheating or whatever else may be the case. Or they spend their time telling people that they're going to leave this person, which they're never really going to leave this person. They're just not really attracted to this person anymore. But it's a nice, comfortable space to spend the rest of their life. And then they end up making the new person feel like a big pile of shit because they aren't worth them actually making the real effort towards or making a priority in their life when that person has been making them a priority the whole time. Well, as far as you go, it is definitely time to stand up for yourself the way that a mouse would stand up for their children. To put your foot down and tell people, no, this is not what I'm accepting. And if this is what you want, you can go find it with somebody else, but it's not me because that's not who I am. You've finally seen that this is not who you want to be and this is not what you want to be doing, and you can find the feelings that you're feeling with this person, you can find with someone else who's going to treat you right, and they're going to be better feelings for that reason. Yeah, that's a good idea, a really good idea. I actually had this guy that was helping me with my RV a couple years back. Actually, it was last year at the beginning of the year. It feels like longer. And there was a lot of banter back and forth. And wasn't really thinking too much about it, but I was kind of enjoying the banter. And then not him, but his friend told me that he was married one day. He was hiding that he was married for a reason. I really did not like that. And it's not like I wasn't paying him. I was paying him to help me with my RV, but exactly. But even if we don't want that to happen in our marriage, and even if we would never do that to another, it can still happen. But I can understand that. Do unto others as you would have done unto you. And that doesn't mean nothing bad will ever happen to you. That just means that you are accountable for your own actions, not the actions of others. And I believe you're making the right choice in doing what you're doing. So, in between messages, if anybody wants to be able to donate or purchase a question, you can find my Cash App, PayPal, and Amazon wish list in the description box below. And we're going to see what else the guides have for messages for us today. Good luck on that move, and I think you're really making a very good decision for yourself. You're standing up and you're showing people what your worth is, what your value is, and that you're not willing to put up with anything less than that. So, and you may even actually want to state it. You are slowly breaking free from the past pain and the scars that have caused a lot of distortions in your life. You are starting to transform your ideas of what love is. You feel like you've been lost down some rabbit hole trying to find your way back out, but you are breaking free, starting to see and accept the beauty in yourself and in others, forgiving the past and being truly grateful for the journey and all that is found within. Back to our picture from today. He who wants the rose must respect the thorns. And a lot of transformations are happening so that you can understand what unconditional love is. Unconditional love is loving someone regardless of their flaws, is loving someone regardless of whether or not you're together with them, regardless of whether or not you can be around them, not hating them simply because things had to come to a close or because of whatever it is that they're doing, just being understanding of it. And also at the same time realizing that may not be something that you want in your life. You're welcome, sweetheart. Oh, I never judge. The person I'm dealing with right at the moment is constantly, are you judging me? No, you're judging yourself and you're projecting that onto me. I'm not judging you. My mind was 1,000 miles in a different direction completely. And it's fucking hilarious what I'm thinking of every time he thinks that I'm judging him on something. It's so off the wall, whatever my thought was at that time, that it's ridiculous. I'm like, I don't know if you want to hear this out loud, but I'll tell you what I was thinking. And it's always something weird and crazy, but it had absolutely nothing to do with judging him. Thank you, beautiful. I really appreciate that. I am screenshotting that for later. You may find that you are overly sensitive at times. Projection is fucking crazy sometimes. It really is. And it's not just others that do it. Sometimes we do it too. And we're like, oh, this is my intuition. I know I'm right. No, sometimes you're just fucking full of shit and it's the crazy things in your head or the scars or the pain or the trauma of the past that is causing you to believe these things. You may find that you're overly sensitive at times. That's where that overly sensitive comes from too. To the views that others have of you. Feeling like you are somewhat unworthy of love is keeping you from seeing your true potential and the many options that are in front of you, the doors opening all around you. It's time to let your inner fire burn and cleanse, bringing a transformation. The sun always comes back out after a storm. It is time to acknowledge how far you have let yourself slip. Forgive yourself and accept that we are all human beings, and it happens, and then change what you feel like you need to change. Thank you, Dominique. I do that sometimes too. Hi, Preeti. Thank you very much, and same to you. So, when we find ourselves in that overly sensitive state, like every single action or word anybody around us has affects us really deeply, and just breaks us down and hurts us, that's not necessarily anything with the other people going on. That's something inside of us that is hurting, that is crying out for attention. And what we really need to do is dig down and understand why we're feeling the way we're feeling in that moment in time, and what we can do to improve our own self-love, self-confidence, self-esteem, self-worth, and value, so that we are not allowing the actions of others to dictate how we feel about ourselves or what's going on within our mental and emotional state. As always, easier said than done, and it is. It's really easier said than done. I've been told that a couple times this week, honestly. And I'm like, I know it's easier said than done. But if it couldn't be done, I wouldn't be sitting in front of you, because I've had the same problems as you have right now before. I almost forgot the TV in the living room was on. I'm not used to having a TV around. Give me just a second, because I'm going to go shut that off.
One step away, abundance is flowing to me. I feel good about money, and money flows into my life with ease. It comes to me,
Okay, I'm back. I'm not used to having a TV around. If anybody doesn't know, I've been living in my RV for the last couple years with no power. So there's no TV, there's no air conditioning, there's no heating, there's no water, there's no nothing. It's just a bed and something that drives with storage space, which is nice. I absolutely loved the fact that I had a bed and storage space and something that drove, although it hasn't drove for the last 2 months. So I am really excited to be sitting in an air-conditioned house today. It's great. And it's really feeling like a very good week. Definitely agree. Captivate those around you with your fiery passion and skillful execution. That's why this paper right here, do you see how dirty this paper is? It may look like I artistically did that on purpose or something. No. It got covered in soot in my trailer because winter before last, 90% of my heating came from burning random things. Until I figured out how to heat myself in a better way, that's where 90% of my heating came from, was burning random things and breathing in black smoke. To which my mom yelled at me for. And I was like, what do you want me to do, Mom? Burn random things or freeze to death? Which one's better? Because you know what? I would much rather die peacefully in my sleep of carbon monoxide inhalation than I would to lay here freezing to death while I'm shivering and miserable. I don't know which death sounds better to you, because carbon monoxide inhalation sounds much better than freezing to death. I don't know about anybody else. And that's where my couple years of spiritual journeying has gone. So I've definitely been down to the bottom of the bottom, whether I had the addictions at play or not. I managed to stay out of the addictions while I was at the bottom of the bottom, and I don't judge anybody else for that. But I did not want to do that because I watched too much of it in my life, and that's how I knew how not to do it. A lot of the people that I've seen that have gotten into that never saw it throughout their life. It was all hidden from them. The entire world was hidden from them. They were sheltered in this little box until they broke free at 18 and went off the fucking deep end. Well, for the moment I am. It's not necessarily my house, but the person says I don't have to leave. I'm still a little unsure about that, but you know. Captivate those around you with your fiery passion and your skillful execution. You have everything that you need within you. We have a purpose, and yours is very great, especially while it's 100 degrees outside, because it's like 115 in that RV. It's fucking, it's horrible. We each have a purpose, and yours is very great. Think of the times when things could have been deadly, but they weren't. You are never alone. The divine, angels, and spiritual realm has your back. The biggest thing that comes to my mind, and if you've been here for a little while, you probably already know this story, but the biggest thing that comes to my mind every time I read this paper, I was with this guy at one point in time who said something along the lines of, I might as well be a serial killer at some point. And, you know, no names, no dates, no places, no even people, nothing other than that simple statement. And he was also very suicidal. And we're out in the middle of nowhere going to this lake. I could not take you back to this lake today because I used to be very hyper vigilant and I used to watch everywhere I went, and I'd know how to get there even if I was laying down staring at the sky while we were driving there. I know that because my grandma had a two-seater and I always had to lay in the back, and I was the one who had to redirect my mom to the town over to my sister's house when I was the one laying down in the back the whole time we went the first time. And we're out here in the middle of nowhere, and we're driving over this bridge over the water. Exactly, Dom Dom. And he all of a sudden looks over and he's like, I don't know why they got to put those guardrails there, because if those weren't there, we could just drive right off this bridge into the water. And I'm pretty sure he was intentionally sending fear energy my way when he said that. I've actually had people recently tell me that they were, and then get locked out of my energy and call me a sadist because of it. But as he's talking about that, I got this thrill of fear for a minute. And then the radio all of a sudden starts playing, not gonna drown in the water, 'cause the good Lord ain't bringing me home. And I just started laughing. And he's looking at me like I am fucking batshit crazy. As I'm laughing at him about talking about killing us both. And I looked him dead in the eyes and I was like, I already told you I'm here for a reason. Until they want me to go home, I'm not going anywhere. So if you drive off that bridge right now, the only person here dying today is you. I'll still be here. And that's okay, because you know what? I've never been too fond of Romeo and Juliet anyway. If you die, I'm still going to be living, because that's where I'm supposed to be. So go ahead and kill yourself, but you won't be killing me anytime soon. Think of things like that in your life, at those moments where you felt afraid or where you felt lonely, scared, whatever the case may be. And think about the signs, the synchronicities, the messages, the all of a sudden music that started playing that brought you out of that. Who do you think that was? That was you not being alone. Exactly right. You can take yourself out, but you won't be taking me out anytime soon, because I know they don't want me home yet. I haven't finished whatever they have me here for. And sometimes I have been extremely pissed off at them for that, because I'm like, why the fuck can't I come home now? Haven't I done enough for you? And I haven't been in that state in a while, but you know, I have been there before, because I'm like, stop it, leave me alone. Can't I just be done? But I really do enjoy being here for the most part anymore. It has gone back and forth a lot over the years. This place feels like my home now. Even if it wasn't my home to begin with, I have made a home here. I have learned to love the people here. I have learned to love the people here who are imperfect and who do awful, horrible, unimaginable things. But still, each one of them has something lovable about them. And we can focus on the bad things, and we can focus on the hate, and we can focus on the I don't belong here. We can focus on the I want to go home. We can focus on the I'm sick of this. Or we can focus on this is an amazing fucking place with some really amazing people in it. And there is a lot of good things all around us every day of the week. And so many blessings and so much to be grateful for. That why would we want to focus on that other crap all the time? Hi, Rashima. Nice to see you again. I haven't seen you in a little bit. I miss our time together. I used to love so much to play with you, to chase toys, your hands, flashlights, rope wars. I miss your belly rubs and how you always scratched the perfect spots, especially that one right on my butt. Know that I'll always watch over you as good as you did for me. I love you. Exactly. Well, and you know what? They want us to vent to them. They don't want us just to come to them and talk to them when we're feeling good about things. They want us to talk to them when we're feeling miserable about things too. They know that when we yell and we scream and we get upset and we let it all out, that it helps. Plus, it doesn't ruin your relationships when you do it while you're alone talking to them instead. And they're a lot more unconditionally loving than most people are. And to be able to say that you've been through that and you're still here on this planet when so many have given up and given in and walked away from the fight, fuck, you're amazingly strong. It's amazing how strong you are to still be here rocking it. Especially after all that. You are ready to be seen. You are no longer happy to remain in the world of invisibility that you have created for yourself. You are stepping into the spotlight. Don't run from the attention. Remember that you asked for this and worked hard to remove your mask and reveal the light that is within. With great power comes great responsibility. That's why my channel goes so back and forth between growing a bit quicker and then slowing down again, is because, you know, I was an invisible person through a lot of my life. And sometimes the amount of attention that is on me gets a little nerve-wracking. And it's not something that I asked for necessarily or wanted, but it is something that comes with what I asked for and what I wanted, which was to be able to help the people of this earth, to be able to bring healing, love, and light, to be able to teach people from the wisdom that I've accumulated throughout my life. And also the last couple rough years I went through was part of that too. I asked for that in a roundabout way. I asked to be the best healer that I could be and to be able to help even more people, which means I had to go through even more lessons and experiences to be able to teach from those places and perspectives as well, instead of just the perspectives that I had already accumulated. Adding new perspectives to that is something that helps me to reach a wider range of people. So it's funny, some of the things that come to us and the prayers that are answered through some crazy shit that really makes it seem like we're being punished, when at the end of the day, this is what we asked for. Regardless of how it came about and what we had to go through to get there, that's what we asked for. And in order to receive what you asked for, you have to go through what you need to go through to get there. You're not being punished, you're just going through what's necessary to create those changes in your life. Learning how to be at peace throughout the ups and downs of life. Learning that your peace and happiness comes from inside of you and not from the external world. And realizing that life is always going to have its ups and downs. If we melt down every time there's a down in life, then we're just punishing ourselves. We're hurting ourselves. We are putting a lot of stress and weight on our shoulders that doesn't need to be there. When something bad happens and we're just able to be like, that's okay. Everything's fine. And you know what? Yeah, sure, something bad happened today, but tomorrow's a new day. Maybe something good will happen. Maybe something good will come from this bad situation. Maybe I can learn something from this. Maybe there's a reason for it. When we think of it in that way, then it really changes our perception on it and allows us to be more in a peaceful, calm state while we're going through those rough things. Surprisingly enough, the last couple weeks before I had air conditioning this last week, every time my phone was shutting off because of the overheating crap, in the past, I might have had a pretty severe breakdown because of it and gotten extremely upset because of it. But I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. My video is 20 minutes today instead of 2 hours, and that's fine. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to go on about my life, and it's fine. Everything's fine. Take a few deep breaths. Enjoy the rest of my day. Maybe next week it'll go better. Being able to leave behind the war zone inside of ourselves, to move away from that darkness, that despair, that anxiety, that pain, that awfulness, into seeing the world in front of us, not as hell, but as heaven. Because depending on the perspective you're looking at it from, the earth can either be hell or it can be heaven. It's amazing the beauty that you miss around you every day while you're complaining about the darkness that's in front of your eyes, blocking you from seeing anything. And even though you've been through a lot, there is definitely light at the end of the tunnel that is guiding you out of that and into this state of a warrior. A good warrior is not somebody that panics at the first sign of trouble. A good warrior is somebody who can stand up in the face of that trouble and be untroubled by it. Still be able to think with reason and logic while adding an emotional touch to it. because a truly good warrior has an emotional touch to it too, and it's not all logic and reason. Damn straight. I agree, Dom Dom. Instead of immersing yourself so much into the chaos and drama, you're going to be standing outside observing it a bit more from here on out. Waiting patiently, trying to understand things from a different perspective. There's going to be a lot of insightfulness and awareness coming to you of things that you may have missed in the past. You're going to really be, I feel like there's going to be a lot of music that's going to be very important to you as well, especially singing and dancing with it. It's really going to open you up, especially opening up your throat chakra so that you can express these new perspectives and these new understandings, the things that you've learned from patiently observing each situation. It's amazing sometimes how when you're outside of a situation, you can see things from so many different perspectives and understandings. When it comes to yourself, sometimes you lack that. I've always been really good at seeing things from everybody's perspective, which, sometimes people say that can make you an enabler. No, I don't think it, that's part of being an enabler, sure. But that's not what makes you an enabler. Even sitting by and allowing somebody to destroy their life is not what makes you an enabler. What makes you an enabler is accepting the blame for them destroying their life, allowing them to shift it to you, allowing them to make you feel like it's your fault so they don't have to take accountability, and feeling like it's your own fault so the people around you don't have to take accountability. That's more of what makes an enabler than being able to see things from every perspective. Being able to see things from every perspective is called empathy. Being able to feel things from everyone's viewpoint is called empathy. And empathy isn't the bad thing. Empathy with no boundaries and with being the scapegoat, that is a bad thing. But having empathy by itself is not a bad thing. Actually, it's an amazingly wonderful thing when it's directed in the right ways. You may feel very alone right now. Remember that you are never alone. You may not have many people around you right now. Enjoy it, because it won't last forever. Use this time for you to build your skills, to build your knowledge, to rest, to take that extra long walk, to work on some of your hobbies, things that you're passionate about or that you enjoy doing, and know that you will be feeling good for when you don't have as much time for you. Get some things done that you haven't had time or energy for in the past. Get a massage, take an extra long hot shower, do some extra art, watch a good movie, read a good book, do all the things that you don't have time for when all your time is filled up. Because that's another thing about the ups and downs in life. It's the same thing with that. Sometimes there's a lot going on. Sometimes there's not much going on. If you fall apart every time there's not much going on, then you're not feeling whole on your own. When you're feeling whole on your own, you enjoy your alone time and you put it to good use. And even when you have all of your time booked up, you always leave space for yourself at the end of the day so that you can take care of you, so you can take care of everything else much better. Yes, enabling. I have done some enabling in my past as well. Somebody was accusing me of it earlier this week, and I was like, I'm not enabling you. Have I once allowed you to put your blame on me? Nope. Have I told you every single time that you're trying to do that? That ain't gonna work, sorry. I'm just letting you live your life, and if you want to throw it away, that's all on you. That's not on me. But I'm not gonna allow you to abuse me so that you can continue destroying your life either. You're gonna have to face the fact that you're the one destroying your life, and it's not me. And it's not anything outside yourself, it's you. That's a good song. Lovely. I think you might really enjoy that one. You're welcome, and I hope you have a good day. The library and the gym sounds like a really good day. Bye, Dom Dom. So, in between messages, if anybody would like to donate or purchase a question, you can find the Cash App and PayPal and Amazon wish list in the description box below. Really appreciate it, guys, and the likes, comments, shares, and subscribes. You guys are awesome, and it truly does help me out so much, so thank you for that. And let's see what else we have from our guides today. Is there something that you want to fight for? What is it? Don't let your fear talk you out of it. Face it and know that it could go wrong, but it could also go right. What if it did? What if it took commitment and it wasn't done right away? Would it be worth it? Do you want it that much? When you find out what you do want that much, don't regret not trying. Not trying is the only true way to fail. Just ask Thomas Edison and his light bulb. 1,001 tries before he got it right. But he never saw himself as a failure. Ever. And he never gave up. He continued to try and continued to try and continued to try until he succeeded. Not giving up is a very important thing. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your plans. Don't give up on your visions. Don't give up on what you believe in and what you feel to be right. If you feel extremely strongly about something and like it's extremely important to you, and like you could stay committed to it regardless of what you had to go through, kind of like my last couple years, didn't matter what I went through, I stayed on this because this is what I felt was important enough to put my time and energy into, regardless of what anybody thought, regardless of how little money I had, regardless of how I was dumped in the gutter by myself. It didn't matter what I went through. I'm still here at the end of the day doing this because this is what is important to me. And this is what I believe in at my core, that I am meant to be doing in this world. What do you feel that way about in your life? Whether it's a person, a place, a thing, a job, a career, or whatever it may be. What do you feel that way about? And give it your all. And don't allow it to be taken from you by anyone or anything or any circumstance. And then be proud of yourself for accomplishing that and fighting through what you have to fight through to get there. Your creativity and your ideas are a gift worth cherishing and nurturing. Keep expanding your imagination and connecting to your inner child. You could create a great work of art, whether it be music, painting, drawing, or any other creation as an artist. Believe in you and stop limiting yourself and your creations. So, I believe so many different things are art. Cooking is art. Sewing is art. Crafting is art. Painting is art. Dancing is art. Singing is art. Making furniture is art. Building a house is art. There are so many damn forms of art out there. Chemistry is an art. Anything that allows you to be creative, use your imagination, and put it all together to make something, that is art. And art is a very good thing for the soul, the body, the mind, everything. It's a great outlet. It's something that you can pour your energy into to cleanse, to refresh, to heal. And it's also something that you can create something worthwhile out of to give to the world, to create an impact. I just got $10 from Tina. Thank you for that. And I wasn't sure if you were looking to ask a question or if that was just a donation, but thank you either way. Rebuilding foundations, bloodshed, tears, ashes, rain. Been through so much hardship and pain, overcoming left and right. For far too long, no end in sight. World gone ashy and gray, but I live to fight another day. Slowly cleansing rain brings spring. Slowly I start to dance and sing. Colors start to light the way. A little girl's giggles and play. Swift action now comes to bring together something none will ever sever. And you know what, that I stuttered so much in that because I was thinking about that entire last message with the singing, the dancing, the playing. The world turns from ashy gray and spring takes the day. It's, you know, it reminds me so much of that card, but also the entire message just a minute ago. But if you want to be able to find this poem again, you can find Dee's Storytime in the links below and check it out over there. You're rebuilding yourself. Learning to enjoy life, learning to see the beauty around you, learning to be grateful for everything in front of you. No longer feeling miserable, stuck in the sadness, the depression, the pain, the hurt, the anger, the rage, the need for revenge or for vengeance or for justice. And instead, you're just allowing all of that to fall away. And you're starting to look around you and go, wait a second. Wow, there is a lot of beauty around me right now. I'm enjoying this. Isn't this amazing? And that's the state that people are starting to come into collectively on this channel, is a state of much more happiness. And no longer allowing the outside world to dictate whether or not we feel that happiness, whether or not we live in our truth, whether or not we accept ourselves or love ourselves. Hummingbird miracles. There are so many hummingbirds that love to be in this backyard. There's these really pretty red flowers that they like to frequent a lot. They're pretty big hummingbirds too. Surprisingly big hummingbirds. You are the joy bringer. You bless this world with positivity and love. Energy soars on your shining wings. Spread the miracle of happiness. Anyone watching these collective readings, you are a healer. You are a light worker. You are here to raise the vibrations of the collective, which is a very different path than the path that most people will lead you down, which asks you to cut off everything and everyone and be in judgment of it. And it's more embracing everything and everyone and being okay with it and realizing that it's not our place to judge. My name, Danielle, actually means God is my judge. God is everyone else's judge too. I'm not anybody's judge. You're not anybody's judge. The only judge we have is our makers. And yes, I said makers because I believe there's more than one, because a guy didn't just jack off into the fucking cosmos and create everything. That's not the way it works. Has a guy ever been able to do that with a baby on this planet? No. So it takes both a woman and a man to birth anything into existence, and that's the way I feel about it. Tiger, fire. I choose to be unstoppable. My passion is my power. I am bold. I am brave. Mighty forces come to my aid. The white tiger and the yellow tiger actually have some very different meanings in a lot of ways. But both of them have the meaning of instinct, awareness, intuition, grace, speed, endurance. Not speed so much. That's the cheetah. Not speed. Tigers are not that fast. Tigers are actually pretty slow. While at the same time that you are this beautiful, amazing, light-bringing energy to this world, you also have the ability to take that strong stance, that predatory stance. There's a bit of predator and prey in every single person on this planet. A balance of the two is something that creates harmony. A balance of the shadow side and the light side. A balance of the feminine and the masculine. A balance of intuition and thought. A balance of action and inaction. Sometimes there is a time for action and sometimes there is a time to wait patiently. Every tiger knows that. Have you seen how patient a tiger can wait? Because holy shit, they have a lot of patience. Cats have a lot of patience. They're very curious. They really have a short attention span a lot of times, or so it would seem, until they're stalking something. And then they have a very strong attention span and a lot of patience. And they know how to wait till just the perfect opportunity to strike. Taking a walk at night can help to get you in tune with your intuition and in touch with that side of yourself. In touch with the sensitive, vulnerable, loving side of yourself. Allowing that to be seen time and again is something that's really going to help you as well. And it's also going to help to shift those vibrations around you. You can't lead anybody to love and light if you're not willing to show that love and light, because you're scared of what people will do with it, or because you're scared of how they'll take advantage of it, or how people will see you, thinking that you're stupid or naive because you let this person near you when you knew better and you shouldn't have. But you know what? You let this person near you because you were giving them a chance. The divine brought them into your life because, hey, this person deserves a chance. And they're being tested right now. They might pass that test, they might fail that test, because everybody has free will. But how can you even be the one to bring that test if you're in judgment of them? You can't. The cheetah, hey. I was just talking about the cheetah. So speed, endurance, motivation, drive, ambition, goals, setting goals and achieving them, moving forward at quick speed. Hummingbirds are extremely fast too, extremely fast, but also very playful, and they are also very competitive. Hummingbirds are extremely competitive. They get in massive arguments when it comes to territory or when it comes to mating. They will beat the shit out of each other. You can't really see it much because they're moving so quickly that it just looks like they're flying around each other, or, maybe crashing into each other occasionally. No, they're beating the shit out of each other. And that happens in pretty much every species of animal on this planet, including us humans. Really being able to know that and accept that is going to be something that's very important for you. Accepting that, seeing that in yourself and others, and not being so judgmental about it, but just allowing it to be. You are definitely a healer. Honestly, anybody watching this, you are a healer. You are a light worker. The dolphin is the healer. You're a very intelligent person. A very playful person, though. A lot of that playfulness is also what helps you to bring that energy and to shift perspectives, because you draw more flies with honey than vinegar. That's the way it's always going to be. When you get into a debate with somebody, arguing with them and biting their fucking head off and calling them a dumb piece of shit is not going to help your argument at all. It isn't. And me, myself, I have got into that defensive energy once or twice over the years, especially a couple years there. There was a couple years there where I was in that energy pretty steadily because I just had people attacking me at every direction around me all the time, and it just felt like I needed to defend myself because I was coming out of a state of not setting many boundaries to setting boundaries, and now it's like the exact opposite side of that spectrum where it goes from no boundaries to boundary everything. Everything is a boundary. Don't you even look at me because that's a boundary. And you get into that. It's that like fight or flight mode, Having a nice even balance of both of the two is something that's very helpful. Being able to be understanding, adaptable, flexible, while still being able to be hard, unyielding, and unbending in different situations is really going to be very helpful. Be the whole damn yin and yang. You don't need another half to be that. You are that. It's all inside of you. And once you realize that, you will be able to encompass all aspects of yourself. And you'll be able to find somebody who's encompassing all aspects of themselves too. You're going to run into a lot more people that are like that. And when you're running into people that aren't, you're there to help them find that within themselves, to help them heal the things that are causing issues around them because of their non-acceptance of one or both of those sides of themselves, whether that's their shadow side and light side, or whether that's their masculine side and feminine side, or whether that's their hard and mean side and their nice and soft side. It doesn't matter what sides is. Everything is better with a happy balance and a happy medium. Just like anything isn't going to hurt you with moderation. It's the same thing. But when you start taking anything to the extremes, it will hurt you. Kind of like in the 40s and the 50s. Did you realize that the majority of serial killers were born and raised in the 40s and 50s? You want to know why that is? It's because there was a severe uptick in crazy, over-the-top religion. where nobody was allowed to be anything but perfect. And anybody who had anything but perfect to show to the world was crazy or disgusting or depraved or should be ashamed of it, should be put to death, should be whatever the fuck the case may be. And look what it created. It created monsters because nobody was accepting of themselves. Acceptance is what creates beautiful creatures and not monsters. Love, care, kindness, humility, patience, guidance, not force, not control, not stomp you into the ground, not intimidate you and fear you into doing what I want you to do. But acceptance and love, because we each have our own skeletons in our closets. We each have our own shadow side. We each have those aspects of ourselves that we've been taught to hate, that we have to heal. And that's what's going to make the world a better place, is healing that hate. Hate is never going to bring more love into this world, period. Shame, guilt, fear, none of those things are ever going to bring more love into this world. The things that will bring more love into this world is patience, love, trust, understanding, kindness, compassion, empathy. So we got about a half an hour left. If anybody wants to be able to purchase a question, or if anybody wants to be able to donate, you can find my Cash App, PayPal, and Amazon wish list in the description box below. And I truly appreciate each and every one of you that does anything to support this channel in any way, or my other channel in any way. The likes, shares, subscribes, comments, super thanks stickers, any of those things that you guys do. You guys are so appreciated, and thank you for that. On my own. Grateful for the freedom here. Constant need to release the fear. Watched over, guided, and protected. Constantly feeling intersected. Seeing light is hard at times. Darkness released through my rhymes. Grateful I'm never alone. My skills and knowledge are weapons I hone. Building up my spiritual faith. Always in touch with the ghostly wraith. Standing in my power now. At long last I can take a bow. No matter how hard this is. Freedom is a win. 2/22/21. So, if you are feeling alone right now, out in the cold, like there's no one around, if it's causing you hurt or pain, that's something going on inside of you to heal. When you have that time alone, like we were discussing earlier, put it to good use. Use it to get things done that you usually don't have time for. Use it to take care of yourself. Use it to work on your goals, to accomplish things that you've been wanting to accomplish for a while that you just haven't had the time for because there's been too much going on. And sometimes when there's too much going on for a long time and then all of a sudden there's nothing going on, it really can trigger a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety, a lot of feelings of not good enough, unworthiness, anything like that. But it's triggering those things. And what that means is those things exist inside of you. So they're being triggered for a reason. They're being triggered so you can look at them, understand them, heal them, and grow from them. Freedom is a win. Having that time alone is a win. And you really are never fully alone. The song coming to mind right now is Lean on Me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. So call on me, brother, when you need a friend. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'd understand. But who can ever help you with anything that you aren't willing to ask for help for? So if you are needing that help, swallow that fucking pride and reach out and ask for it. swallow that I have to do everything on my own and realize that you don't. And you're the one forcing yourself to. And don't worry what anybody else thinks about that if you're not handling everything on your own. Who gives a shit? Sometimes we all need a hand, and that's okay. I was thinking about my glorified serial killer statement I made a month ago about soldiers. I recently told my thoughts to somebody that was a 24-year soldier. And I was like, I don't think you're necessarily going to love my thoughts on that. But, technically, I feel like soldiers are legal serial killers. I mean, they kill a whole bunch of people. It's legal. It's celebrated. It's loved. It's appreciated. Which I can understand why in some ways. Because you know what? When it's actually being used as a defense and not somebody trying to run around controlling the entire world, then it is something to be respected and loved. And technically, those soldiers feel like they're doing that even when they aren't, because they're being led by their government that is telling them they are. Like in Vietnam. I really did not like the way that when soldiers came back from Vietnam, they were all spit on and treated like fucking dirt because they killed babies. I got a question for you. If there is a baby running at you with a fucking bomb and it's going to kill you and 200 other people, are you going to shoot that baby or are you going to let it kill 200 people and itself? It's going to die either way. Are you going to shoot it so other people don't die too? Because if they were put on the spot, they may have made the same choice. And the soldiers weren't in charge there. They were following orders from our government. And a lot of them were drafted as well. So they were forced into following those orders. So think about that one for a minute too. You can't really blame them. You blame the people in charge and you put the accountability at their doorstep. Don't let them scapegoat everybody else and divert your blame to something else. The people responsible for the biggest problems are the people in the biggest spots of authority. If you had the entire world's attention for 30 seconds, what would you say? I wrote this a while ago. I'm surprised it never made it out here till now. That was a question that popped up somewhere. I don't even remember where I got the question from, but this is my answer. Treat all life as you would wish to be treated. Have respect for the land and for the creatures, big and small. Love each other. We are all the same in far too many ways to allow the differences divide and destroy us. And I'm not a vegan, by the way. I'm not saying you can't eat animals. What I'm saying is have respect for them. It's $10, love, and you can find the PayPal and Cash App in the description box below. So, it's like on Cold Mountain. I don't know if anybody's ever seen that movie, but she's talking about the goat that's in front of her. And she's like, goats are a wonderful animal. They give you comfort. They give you love. They give you milk. They give you friendship and companionship. And when you need it, and she snaps its neck, they give you meat. The whole time it was alive, she took care of it. She loved it. She named it. She spent time with it. That was her best fucking friend. And at the end of its life, it provided for her in the same way. That is an equal exchange and a respect for life. And honestly, I would feel much better about the things that I ate if I was doing that. Just as good people defend their young and their own lives, animals do the same. Well, at this point, some have stopped and started hiding instead from the endless cruelty of man and woman who have repeatedly boasted over their senseless and brutal murder of another life for no reason. I'll put it to you this way. How would you feel if someone did that to you and your family or your dog? Like the teen boys who had been caring for wolves for years, only to find them butchered and left to rot because Idaho has decided to allow this destruction of a species that was extremely close to extinction because of previous heinous acts. Repeating the past mistakes is not the way forward. Animals were domesticated by love, care, collaboration, Free animals could act the same way with different treatment. So what are the things that are important to you that you feel like you need to voice in your life and in the world around you? If you had center stage for 30 seconds, what would be the topic that you would discuss? Because it's time to start taking actions on those things. If they feel important to you, it's time to start speaking up about them and speaking out about them, because you are a healer and a light worker in this world. And you are somebody who's here to lead people forward to a higher level of consciousness. And you can only do that by opening your mouth. Someone new is coming in for you. Enjoy life more, live a little, take some risks for once. No more hiding from the spotlight. You shine so bright, never hide that energy. When you shine fully, you will attract someone who shines just as bright as you do. But it requires you to take off every single mask, even if that means you have to lead the way for the other person to follow behind. Even that last one that guards your vulnerable heart. Because without an open heart, you can't have love. You will never find love. You will constantly be searching for it. But it's inside of you the whole time, and the only way to get it is to let it out. So that you can give and receive of love. And then it's not in a toxic way. All aboard. The blessings train has arrived, and it's time for you to receive in so many ways. Don't miss out on these exciting opportunities due to fear or being stuck in the past. The time is now for a shift. Get your mind right, get your grind right. Shift your perspective and be curious. And by the way, that came from a song, but I have no idea what song. It just popped into my head while I was in the middle of writing that, and I never did look it up. Awesome, I received that. So let me know what your question is, and I will get to it right after this message. You are worthy. You are worthy, know it's true. Love everything that makes you you. No more seeing yourself as less. No more mind in a mess. Healing comes to you now, and you will see and know it's true. Love yourself as you'd love another. Love yourself like your own mother. No more questions if you deserve. Throw a curve and make sure you swerve. If it's not up to par, no more settling for below the bar. You are meant for so much more. Believe it's true and open the door. I got it, sweetheart. What's your question? Curveball by Honey C. Great song. My daughter drew this beautiful picture of me. She is such an amazing artist. I absolutely love how good she is getting at that. She's getting better and better. The last time I saw a little bit of her work, it was fucking amazing how much she had jumped up in levels. No more stick people. Right now, it's time to focus on you and your goals. We are on our own journeys, and we both know it deep down that this is necessary. We have a lot to learn to align ourselves to a more unconditional form of love, and to also find and reveal our highest power. When we are strong on our own, we will be even stronger together. So I was actually explaining this to someone recently, that the things my kids are going through right now, yeah, I would love to force them not to be. But they're going through them for a reason, and they have to break the cycle themselves. And I have to be okay with that, and I just have to allow things to unfold as they are. I can't force anything. And forcing things has only made it worse in the past. So now I just let go and allow things to unfold the way they're gonna. The Curse of the Fold is a good song as well, and somebody may actually really get something from that. It's The Curse of the Fold. I also really like Sean James, Burn the Witch. Fucking great song. I will not scream or give them that satisfaction, and I will not admit to my to their false interaction. Should you file charges against your sister for her assault of me or of you? Have you thought of a restraining order? Restraining order is the first thing that popped in my mind, and letting her know that if anything happens again, that you will be filing charges against her. There have actually been circumstances where I seriously thought about going to the police, and then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to let them know that if anything else happens, I will be going to the police. And sometimes that's enough to get people to calm down. And sometimes the restraining order is enough to get people to calm down and out of your face, and sometimes it isn't. I feel like it would be in your case, though. I really do. Let me see what comes out here. Oh, you live together. Ooh. I would suggest definitely finding a way to have your own place. And I can definitely relate to the loving her daughter because, you know, I get that. I've loved so many kids in my life. I've lost so many kids in my life because I spent a lot of time babysitting for addicts who would rack up like $300 or $400 worth of debt. And then my mom would scream at them and they'd never come back again and I'd never see their kids again. Yeah, and then other kids, but you may be extremely busy right now. Make sure to make time for you as well. Some time away is definitely going to be good for you. Some space away from each other, because a lot of times when we spend too much time together, everybody ends up getting a little extra anxious, a little extra angry with each other. You get on each other's nerves more. You really affect each other and bother each other a lot more. Self-care is important now. It won't always be this busy, and soon things will slow down again. Get some good sleep so that you aren't so tired, stressed, or frustrated. Lavender, chamomile, or valerian root are good natural ways to help with sleep as well. So, getting some good sleep can be a good thing. Also, if you mix up some lavender and chamomile spray, you can spray it around the house, and naturally you'll notice that everybody in the house will be much calmer. You don't even have to tell them about it. They will literally be much calmer without any of their own free will involved. Maybe get a hotel room for a night. That might be a good idea. Is there any way that you can find a way to get out of that place? John Cross. Trying to remember whose number that was. There's a number on the back of this message. Maybe getting a hold of somebody that might be able to help you in that state as well. And do you have a vehicle? If you have a vehicle, it really sucks living in a vehicle. Trust me, I know. But it may be better than living with someone that causes so much stress in your life. You might actually be able to get your shit together easier and quicker without all of that around you. I know, I get that. Right at the moment, I go back and forth between like $200 to $300 a month and $500 a month. And last year at this time, it was $0 a month. So, you know, I get that very much. Envy is awful to experience. When you really think about it, you got to realize that it is awful on both sides. Imagine hating yourself and your life so much that you covet everything about another's life. Not everyone knows or can believe that they can make the changes or have things different. They are stuck in a prison of their own mind, usually created by past abuse. Not an excuse for the actions taken. It just makes it more understandable. You can have compassion and understanding while not allowing abuse. Me Too by Meghan Trainor. Great song. Which side is you? The envy side or the non-envy side? Either way, you know, it happens. But because that could be part of her problem too. I was thinking along the lines of, it's not like she can just live off of somebody's couch, but you're getting to, you know, and that can cause some problems right there. But it could also be, you know, that you're having to live the way that you're living and she's living the life she's living, where she has the house and the kid and the things like that. Okay. So that's what I was thinking originally. I was thinking that it had to do with her feeling that way about the way that you're living right now, because you have a little bit more freedom than she does and a little less responsibilities in ways. And, you know, it sucks that people feel that way about it, because it's not like you're not stressed out. It's not like you're not going, shit, I really hate to have to be doing this, and I really wish that I could be doing something differently. But you can be doing something differently, and sometimes it just takes that leap of faith. Oh, I can definitely see that too, especially if she's a teenager, because generally teenage girls hate their mother. Doesn't matter who their mother is. Teenage girls hate their mothers. And especially if you're the one taking care of her all the time. You're the one giving the love, the time, the attention, and she's the one out making the money and not there as much and not getting to spend that time, not even having the energy to spend that time. You know what? It might be a healthy thing for her to take a couple days off of work and take a trip with her daughter. That might actually help things as well. And only 2% of the population actually has narcissistic personality disorder, but everyone on this planet has narcissistic traits. So each of us have narcissistic traits in different ways. And sometimes it's because they're a narcissist. Sometimes it's because of the hurt and pain they're dealing with that they act in that way. And it really just makes them feel and seem very selfish and self-serving, when in reality, they're just trying to protect themselves. And they feel like the only way to do that is to lash out at the others around them. How much can you really endure? Do you even know? Do you see your own strength? Look back on everything that you have faced. You have been through much worse, and yet you are still here. So stop being afraid and have faith is one of the things they're telling you as well. You are learning to trust yourself and your own instincts. You and your energy are not meant for everyone, so be discerning. You could be dealing with a lot of people who were really not on your team. Now you know better, or soon you will. Notice when things fall into place and when they fall out of place. Notice when it's time to stick around and when it's time to move on. No, you should not be afraid of her. You are safe. You're safe. And at the same time, I would suggest creating space between you and her. If you have to, at a future date, you may have to cut off contact. But for this moment, I would just suggest creating space in whatever way that you can. Letting her know that this is not a safe working environment anymore, and she may have to find somebody else to take care of her child, or that you're only going to be there while she's gone and taking care of her child, and then you'll find somewhere else to be while she's there. That could help as well. I feel like she will be. Butterfly, rebirth. You can reinvent yourself, open to the rewards of change. You have brilliance to share with the world. Love every part of your journey. Temperance, patience, persistence, dedication, stability. Breaking the toxic cycles and patterns, moving away from anything that's not healthy for you. Not feeling like you're chained down or stuck, because you're not chained down or stuck there. Only you can make that choice for yourself to leave. And you know what you're going to show your niece? You're going to show your niece that she can leave too. You're going to show your niece that it's okay to walk away when somebody's treating you in a bad manner. That's what you show her by moving away from that. Even when you have nothing, that you'll survive and you'll be able to do just fine. And you'll actually be doing better because you're away from that toxic energy. And that's what you'll be showing her by ending this and moving away from it. So that is my suggestion, is move away from it. I feel like you will definitely see your niece again, even if it takes a little bit. It takes a lot of time. I feel like that's part of the reason right before we started your reading, I ended up mentioning that stuff about my daughters, because right now I have seen my daughters 2 times in the last month and a half, 2 months. They went down with my ex to see my family without me because I'm a problem. And here's the thing, I am teaching my daughters to walk away from that. And eventually they will figure out how to. And it's so painful having to watch them go through that toxicity. And it's infecting them. And it's hard to watch. It really is. But there's nothing else I can do other than to have faith, to pray, and to move away from it to show them how to do it too. And exactly right. You guessed it right. I am the scapegoat for my whole family and for my ex and his family. It's just that's who I am, is their blame game. So let's see what closeout message our guides have for us to bring some peace at the end of this. Earthworm. It's amazing how much fertility, growth, and abundance earthworms leave in their leave behind them as they eat up all that dirt and poop it out and move on. It leaves some very abundant, beautiful soil behind, like you're going to be leaving with your niece. Earthworms come out when it rains, only to feed, mate, or move to another place. It represents the relationship between active and passive energies in life. Darkness is not always a bad thing, but it may be time to move towards the light that is beckoning you by cleansing and clearing your energy field. Miraculous regeneration and healing is why this animal is with you now. Just when you feel like giving up, you will receive a breakthrough. Your rebirth will come at the perfect timing. Take life one step at a time. Be patient with yourself and with others. Sometimes it's difficult to come out into the open. Slow movement is so that you can learn. Confront your fear or your dislike of doing something. Learn from it. And what you give is what you get. Dig through the dirt and allow it to be the fuel that pushes you forward. Also, pay attention to what you're eating and what you're nourishing your body with, because different foods create different moods. You're welcome, Charlie. Thank you for being here today. Heart healed. Open up and allow love in. It's time now to go for the win. No more waiting. It's time to see clear. Overcome and release your fear. As the ice melts, you will see what is truly meant to be. No more obsessing over things not for you. Time for a payback for all that you do. Love is coming. Believe it's true. All of it starts at home with you. No more room in your life for hate, for you or others. That's not your fate. Open your heart for all to see. Shine bright and set yourself free. All the walls are taken down. Everything will turn around. 2/23/21. And if you want to be able to find this poem, Dee's Storytime is in the link in the description box below, and you can find it over there. It's good for a mantra. It's good to rewire your thinking into believing that this is what's coming for you. Helps get rid of a lot of the overthinking too. You're very welcome, and I appreciate you too. Thank you for being here today and for purchasing a question. So it's really time to open up, to open your heart, and to not worry about winning or losing. It's time to throw the game to get the win. There's actually a poem on my other channel called Throw the Game to Get the Win too. Pride and ego are not worth it. It's not worth losing out on everything that you could have by just being vulnerable and open and allowing the world to see the real you. No more focusing on hate. No more focusing on the darkness. No more focusing on the despair, the worry, the fear, the pain, the rejection, the anger, the resentment, the bitterness, the jealousy, anything like that. It's time now to focus on love, compassion, honesty, patience, kindness, empathy, care, understanding. To focus on the ways that other people show you that as well, because sometimes we miss them when we're not in the right set of our right mind frame. We may miss a lot of the things that others do for us to show their care and their love, especially if they're doing things in a different way than what we would usually do to show our love. Sometimes people have a different love language, but all love is the same. Calling a fight for war, a fight for peace. Red and blue are just colors to blind, to keep your mind caught in a bind, to keep us divided and undecided. A push for war is cited. A war within keeps us so busy. Our minds and senses are dull and dizzy. Instead, we should push our focus more on peace, which is compromise at the core. No one side is always right. Wrong is found on both sides of a fight. When people push to the extremes, to swerve hard right or hard left it seems, that's when they must prove they're right. Original mission out of sight. Morals lost in a sea of agreement. Instead of fighting for what you believe in, now you're just backing your own side, even if deep down you lied. To yourself most of all. Rise up now and take the call. Support the beliefs that you hold inside, even when others prefer to hide. So, accepting the shadow side inside of ourselves when it comes to the interactions we have with others. Not only did they do things that are wrong or react in ways that aren't good, where did we go wrong? How can we have acted or behaved that could have changed the outcome of a situation when somebody got a tone with you and started saying something really cruel Did you go into that same energy? Did you allow their energy to infect you? And did you react to what they were behaving as by behaving in the same manner? Or did you rise above that a little bit, keep your own energy and go, dude, it's okay. There's no need for that. We can work this out. Did you ask yourself what's needed in this situation? Sometimes a little compassion, understanding, and communication can go a long way towards creating a different result or a different outcome in a situation. I can understand feeling that way, ready for the darkness to be over, and the light is who you are, but the darkness is who everyone is too. We are all made up of both, and accepting, loving, and appreciating those sides of ourselves instead of denying them, repressing them, and thinking they're evil is something that really helps us to be able to use them in much better ways as well. They come out in healthier ways. I can understand that because you know what, I felt like situations I did all I could do. And at that point, all you can do is to walk away and to know that you tried your best and you tried to keep the peace as best you can. That makes sense that there's addiction involved too, because you know, a lot of times they're busy wanting to make it look like everybody else is the problem so that nobody's looking at what the real problem is, which is their addictions and how it makes them behave. And it's not even the addiction that makes them behave that way, it's the shame. A lot of it's the shame that makes them behave that way. Instead of attracting you directly, they are hurting those that you love, wants you to be obsessed with them like they are with you. Psychological warfare is designed to make you live in fear and to stop interacting with others, wants you isolated and mentally unstable for some reason. Exactly, and so she wants you to be seen as the one to blame because she can't look in that mirror. It's too painful to look into. And that's what it amounts to. It's too painful for her to look in it and see who she has become. And so she avoids it, she denies it. She hides it, she represses it, she buries it under a rug. And all it does is fester and get worse. And when everybody's gone, she won't have anybody to blame anymore, and it will only be herself that she can blame. And I've been through exactly that. It's still going on. That's why my ex and my kids went down to see my family behind my back recently, after spending months talking shit about my family. All of them. And saying, oh, we're not going to go and see them this year because we don't like them and don't want to be around them anymore. Someone, and you know, I'm sick of that. I'm not going to be isolated anymore. I'm just going to find different people to be around. Someone may have to have surgery because of a bad habit, but because of this eye-opener, they are ready for a lifestyle change. After this change, they are going to notice how much that habit was draining their life and hurting others around them. So your sister may actually end up getting sick, because that's the first thing that popped into my mind after something else did, because I feel like somebody's going to have something going wrong with their liver around me. And they're going to have to deal with it, and possibly a heart thing with someone else around me. They're the person who actually did this. And they're going to have to deal with it. And they're going to have to see and realize how much hurt and pain they've been causing others by leading that example and showing them to go down the same path, or by lashing out and abusing others because of the addiction that they've been going through and trying to hide it. A new pet may enter your life soon, and it could also be a new friend. This will be the blessing that you need to light up your life again. Get out more, have fun, explore, and enjoy yourself. You have worked so hard, and you have earned this fun time. You might even find a new hobby or life passion with this change. Wow, that's crazy, because the very first thing that popped into my head was something to do with the liver too. You know, I got a new kitty recently. I love my kitty. She's so adorable. And I could just hear everybody's voices from my past telling me, oh, yeah, that's just what you need. You really need a kitty in the position you're in. You can't even take care of yourself. Why would you be getting a cat? And you know what? I take care of my animals very well. My animals never go hungry. You know, when it's hot, we visit the canal 4 or 5 times a day. I'm not even allowed to get in it, but they get in it, and I sit in the hot sun while they do. I take care of my damn animals. They eat, and they eat well. And it's, who gives a shit what anybody else thinks, because that's what I needed in my life. That's my family. So much love can come from animals. So much love can come from friends. If we allow ourselves to open up and have them again after the pain, hurt, and everything else that people have put us through that caused us to close off. And then we win. We win this, even without trying, because we are no longer isolated. We are no longer feeling alone. We're no longer feeling cut off. We're no longer allowed to be controlled by the people that are doing that. We're no longer paranoid and afraid. We're no longer feeling like everything in the world is evil. We're feeling like the world's a beautiful place and there's so many opportunities in front of us. Some humans can be, but I agree. And a lot of that's because animals don't talk, because we probably wouldn't like some of what they had to say, which is what would cause the problems. And then we'd probably say some things that they don't like, that they could understand, and that would cause more problems. It's amazing how much problems speaking the same language can have. You don't even really think about that. You think about the problems that speaking different languages could have, but not the ones that speaking the same languages could have, because that's one of them. Our mouths get us into big trouble sometimes. So, final message. You are so beautiful. I am beautiful. I am sweet. Knowing me is such a treat. I'm smart and kind, caring too. But you can make me feel so blue. Time for a change, a nice retreat. I am unwilling to fill that seat. I need to rewire to get me some rest. So I know I deserve the best. Stomp out those mean voices inside. It's time to heal. Enjoy the ride. And if anybody wants to find this so they can keep it around as a mantra, my other channel's in the description box below and you can find it on there. It really does help in rewiring the mind to tell yourself things like that on a regular basis. And I'm not better than anybody else. I didn't say everybody else isn't a sweet treat to get to know and to love, but I am too. So that is what I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for being here and all the support you guys have shown me through donations, purchasing questions, the comments, likes, shares, subscribes, all that stuff. It really does mean the world to me. And if you guys did want to donate, you can find my Cash App, PayPal, and Amazon wish list in the description box below. Thank you for that ahead of time. And I really hope that you guys have a beautiful night or day, whatever it is, wherever you are when you're watching. Bye-bye, guys. Bye, Margaret.